Hey everybody, Healthy Prepper here with an interesting concept today to discuss: prepper versus couponer. I've been asked a lot about what is a prepper, what is a barter item, and I think most people know what a couponer is, but I just thought I'd talk about this because I've had a lot of people ask the question. So here's some similarities and differences that I've found between preppers and couponers, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about the topic. Okay, from my perspective, this is totally my perspective, my opinion. A lot of people may have different opinions about this, but this is the way I see it, the world of preppers versus the world of couponers. And I know there's no absolutes here, and there's a lot of crossover as well. So here's my take. Both preppers and couponers stockpile in general. Okay, so we'll just take a quick pan around here. Little stockpile. Stockpile porn. Okay, here we go. Yep. Okay. And I'd like to openly say I am a prepper and a couponer, and I find both of them they work very well together, and I'll explain why. Okay. So, both preppers and couponers do tend to stockpile. Stockpiles can range in products and size and the purpose of each, but they generally tend to accumulate stuff. Now, this stuff may be organized or unorganized in either the prepper or the couponer world, but for simplicity's sake and for peace of mind, I like the organized route as much as possible. It's a never-ending process. I feel for the prepper and the couponer. Next is, preppers tend to be a little bit more private about who they are and what they're doing in the general public, whereas couponers tend to be a little bit more open. You'll possibly see their faces more often. They'll be a little bit more open about where they live, towns, things like that. Preppers tend, in general, to keep their mouth shut because they may be concerned that somebody might come and take their supplies in case of an SHTF or emergency scenario. Not afraid, but protective in that manner. Yeah, so preppers tend to be a little bit more private. Another thing that differs the two, preppers and couponers, is the purpose. People are preppers in general for emergency situations, for preparedness, for survival, apocalyptic pinches, civil unrest, EMP, which is electromagnetic pulse, that can knock out the electrical grid, causing shortages of supply chain routes. You can't get your goods anymore, you can't get your food anymore. Preppers prepare for the collapse of the dollar, nuclear war, etc. There's a multitude of reasons, and everybody who's a prepper probably does it for a different reason. Couponers most often coupon to save money. Possibly funds are tight and they're trying to make every dollar stretch as far as they can for their families, for their friends, for their community. Some couponers may also do it for sport and for fun. The couponing and the prepping actually both do have a little bit of an addictive potential for each. Yes, you can get caught up and carried away with both. Your definition of, is your commitment to your couponing or prepping a healthful thing? Is it an addition to your life that brings quality and peace of mind, or does it drive you crazy and you're up in the middle of the night dashing off to some God knows CVS somewhere trying to pick up that last deal? Or are you prepping yourself into, have you filled your house up with so much rice and beans that you can't even move anymore, and you're wondering where the quality of life went? So there's a bit of a spectrum there. Again, this is all my personal opinion. Barter items, I've been asked about this. Preppers often accumulate things such as food and supplies. They usually get more than they need, and the reason for this is they may want to barter these items someday in an emergency situation when supply lines are cut off, and you need to be able to have items to share or trade or barter with other people to get the items that you need. So these may be luxury items, comfort items, etc., or they may just be beans and rice and chicken noodle soup, things that people need on an everyday basis. So there's really almost no item that's exclusive for as a barter item. Couponers will also barter for items. There are coupon traders that trade couponed items. Couponers will also liquidate some of their items on eBay to raise more cash for the family. They may give away items as gifts and also as donations for local shelters and women's shelters and things like that. They may also sell their extra stuff at garage sales or place them on Craigslist. Now, preppers, of course, can do this as well, too, but remember the prepper mindset is generally to accumulate, unless, of course, the prepper needs to raise more funds to get specific supplies. They may liquidate some of their supplies, sell them off to get other supplies that are more needed. Okay, other things that preppers are involved with, just so people can get a good idea of what a prepper is. Shelter, safe shelter. Often there's the concept of the main home and then the bug-out location. The bug-out location is if everything goes to heck in a handbasket and you've got to get out of Dodge, you would bug out, meaning you would leave your homestead and you would go to a secondary location, and this would be called your bug-out location. So you will see things such as bug-out bags, etc., bug-out vehicles, bug-out locations, that type of terminology. Preppers are also concerned with security. You will see a lot of discussion about guns and protection devices, alarms, knives, any type of equipment or supply that can protect the prepper's family, the homestead, etc. Preppers are also concerned with water, the cleanliness of water in case the water supply is intoxicated with something possibly chemical or biological. So they often will gather Berkey filters, Ketadine water filters, have extra water in their garage or any kind of storage place, and hopefully have some access to a local lake or stream. Preppers are also very interested in cooking and also preserving the food that they gather through prepping. They're very inclined to be dehydrators of food. They preserve. The whole goal is to extend the shelf life of any food that you bring into the fold. So you will find that preppers will place things in 5-gallon buckets in Mylar bags to extend the shelf life. So you'll see a lot of my videos will be discussing Mylar bags and extending the shelf life. This is also something that I think is very valuable for the couponer, because if you're a couponer and you get great deals, let me just show you around here again quickly, on items that you may need longer shelf life. Let's say I'm not going to eat that honeycomb for a while. I want to find a way to extend the shelf life on it. I want to remove the oxygen, the moisture, and I want to protect it from light. And so I will find a way to do that, to extend my preps. And up here you can see it. There's a Mylar bag, vacuum sealed, that contains cereal that will be eaten sometime far off in the distance, way beyond its shelf life. I'm hopefully extending the shelf life of that cereal by doing these extra measures. Okay, preppers are also concerned with medical supplies. Couponers are as well. They want the basic supplies in general for daily needs, if colds, coughs, flus, things like that, cuts, scrapes, bruises. The prepper might take it to the more advanced stage, where you're getting surgical equipment. Whether or not you can even use this equipment, you may be able to find somebody in a local community or a neighborhood or your prepper network that can use these tools. So kind of thinking more in times of war times, what would you do in an emergency if you were the only one there and somebody was injured? Preppers are also concerned with communications, ham radios, CB radios, and the like. They're also very big on using items which are on-hand resources for alternative purposes. And you'll see that I have a lot of videos, or some videos anyway, related to the unusual uses of certain common everyday items we find, like hydrogen peroxide or nail polish or tin cans, things like that, where prepper it would be helpful to the prepper to know other uses for these items in case supply lines again are cut off and you don't have any incoming goods to stores and you can't just trot down to your local Dollar Tree and pick something up. Okay. Preppers are also very interested in energy and fuel and power. They often have generators. We have 2 generators here at our home. Solar, wind power, things like that. They're thinking, how can I provide power to my my homestead if the power goes out? And you know, we live in an area where there's a lot of natural disaster type things, hurricanes, and so we have to be, actually that's going on everywhere now, so, but it's good to be ahead of the game in that department. So, you know, we know here with hurricanes it's important to have batteries, it's important to have fresh water supply, it's important to have so much food on hand in case this happens. And there's certainly been enough snowstorms and, you know, Snowmageddon and Hurricane Sandy up north. Things do happen, and it's, you know, it's my opinion, I just think it's smart to be prepared in case something happens. I'd rather have it on hand. And preppers are also trying to train themselves in the areas of hunting, fishing, and trapping, just in case food supplies again are cut off, and we would hopefully learn the skills to supply our family with food in the worst case scenarios. So a little comparison from television. If you've ever seen the show Doomsday Preppers, these are some examples of preppers, and as you can see, there's a myriad of different styles and ways of being a prepper, and to the level of the preparedness that these people take, it is all different for everyone. And you may have also seen the show Extreme Couponers. I remember I had not seen this show yet, and I was quite shocked to see it. It was amazing what these people do. They're way far beyond anything I've ever accomplished, but I can certainly learn from them, and I certainly have great respect for people who understand the art of couponing and the science of couponing and the frank mathematics of couponing. It's phenomenal. And I'm just happy to be on the outer skirt edges here, just learning it. And I'm so thankful that I finally got on board and learned how to coupon, because it has really been such a huge resource for me. I've been able to build my preps as a prepper much faster for much less money, and I really encourage any other preppers out there who are not couponing, it's time to explore this and start slow, give it a go, and see what you think. It really is worth the time, energy, effort, and money invested. And, you know, I have to say, this is kind of a little anecdotal thing, but the Doomsday Preppers, they did send me, after I put out my first video, Introduction to Food Storage, they must have been email blasting these to everybody who had the word prepper in their YouTube name, but they asked, oh, do you want to come on the show? And I'm like, I don't know, because, you know, the whole thing about being a prepper is mum's the word. You know, you really don't want to put yourself out there and expose all the information, but actually I am very grateful and thankful to those that have. I've learned a lot from people like Southern Prepper One and Patriot Nurse, other YouTube channel people that, you know, if it wasn't for them, you know, I mean, they were great guides in the beginning on how to do this and what to do and how to get started. So hats off to those who have the courage to come out from, you know, behind the camera, but I'm staying put, folks, thanks. The other concept is greedy. Are preppers and couponers just plain greedy because they collect all this stuff? Well, I think, you know, it depends on how you look at it. I mean, I look at it as well prepared as opposed to greedy. I'd rather have stuff on hand in case of emergency. It just seems, you know, that's the smart thing to do. And the couponer, I don't think it's greedy to save money for your family. I don't think it is at all. Are there greedy preppers and couponers out there? Absolutely. I mean, greed exists in all ways, you know, shapes and forms. But the point is the purpose. What is your purpose? It's never the what, and it's always the why people do things, in my opinion. So, you know, really ask yourself, is what you're doing, does it make sense? Does it bring quality of life and peace of mind to your world? And if it does, fabulous. If it brings quality of mind and quality of life and peace of mind to others as well, even better. And if it's for your community, even better. And I'm of the belief that a prepper will survive best in a community as opposed to a lone wolf. Although I do think some lone wolf preppers out there are very well trained and can survive very well on their own, I think I will do better in a community. I just have a feeling. So, also another anecdotal thing, I had a garage sale once, and you know, people were poking in on my driveway, and I'm in my garage and commenting on all the packages of toilet paper that I had there, and they were all asking me, "Oh, you must be a couponer. You must be a couponer." And nobody once ever thought I was a prepper. And it's a funny thing. It's an easy place for well, I would say a caught or exposed prepper to hide behind. It's you know, just say you're a couponer because we kind of look the same from, you know, the outside eye who's not really familiar with either world. Until you delve a little bit deeper. But if you never know what to say, hey, I'm a couponer. And you know what? In a lot of cases, it's very true because, hey, I am a couponer. And so I would say both preppers and couponers save money, and they increase their supplies and their stockpiles, and they're more efficient because of using their individual strategies and their combined strategies. I think the prepper who becomes a couponer is a much more efficient prepper because they can get a lot more product and supply fast if they just take the time to learn a few things and watch a few YouTube videos. Lots of them out there. There's great walkthrough videos that just absolutely explain everything down to a T. And also, you know, the couponer who has an open mind to peek into the world of prepping and may actually ask themselves, am I a prepper already, but I just didn't know it because I'm gathering all these things basically to save money or possibly for in case of emergency. Maybe there are other areas I would like to explore, like the shelter, security, water, cooking, you know, medical supplies, communications, bugging out. There's a whole world out there, and there's a whole slew of videos on that as well. So anyway, this video is getting kind of long. I hope you found this interesting. I just thought this was a topic that I felt there were a few questions out there, so I wanted to get them addressed. And I really love talking about this stuff, and I would love to hear your thoughts on the matter. If you think I'm way off, or you find similarities and common thoughts in your own life, please let me know. Thank you so much to all my new subscribers. I'm tickled pink and shocked that you guys are listening and watching. I'm just amazed, so thank you so very much. And I appreciate all the likes that you've given me, and I'm always open to all the not so likes as well, because it's always good to learn from others. So thank you very much, and happy and healthy prepping and couponing, which I fumbled up in a previous video which came out preppening. So there you go, folks, everybody. Happy preppening. Take care.